Yeah, we're back. And we're back with some amazing catches this time. At the beginning, the rest of the video is GE junk, but please watch it all. Please. I worked hard on this. Anyways, we start off on August 2nd at the depot to catch the unit that you probably clicked on this video for, NS1000, the Spirit of France unit. However, as per typical with the depot, there was a couple other trains that had to get out of the way. We arrived pretty late, so we only ended up seeing one of them. However, it was a very interesting one. Norfolk Southern 39E out of Elkhart with a Union Pacific AC-44 rebuild in the lead. Specifically, one of the experimental scheme ones. This unit here, number 7274, was painted during the transition from the older wings and flag scheme to the current scheme. As a result, it has a hybrid of the two, with the wings on the nose but no flag on the side in favor of the UP text. Very interesting. And following just behind was Norfolk Southern 29P with the recently vandalized NS1000 in the lead. 1000 might just be the most interesting normal locomotive on Norfolk Southern, and by normal I mean built from a standard design. Not only does it have the Spirit of France graffiti on the front, and it's called that because as you can see it makes the French flag, but also the unit has a pair of Ace T4 trucks, which were put on it during the testing phase of the Ace T4, and it still wears them to this day. Not to mention, it was the first Ace ever on Norfolk Southern, and it has the weird translucent number boards, which Norfolk Southern did for a little bit, and this unit happened to have them swapped out during that time. An extremely interesting unit, and I'm glad I got to see it leading. We're back to rail fanning on August 8th with no specific goals in mind. This was just a random trip. I like to go to the depot sometimes when there's just nothing specific running, just so I can see whatever. A lot of the times I get lucky. This trip, I was not. There's not a single EMD for this whole trip. Either way, the first train we saw was Norfolk Southern 27G heading west with a remarkable 4 engines on it. That's pretty rare for NS, but they're all GE junk, so oof. And very shortly after that one, we got another Norfolk Southern intermodal, this time heading east, with more GE junk, but the leader was a very disgusting. It's one of the older DC Gevos, and if you've noticed a lot of these engines looking really rough, that's not just because they're getting up in age in terms of not being painted, but it's because back when these guys were being painted, Norfolk Southern actually used basically the equivalent of stickers for the lining on the front and on the side. And so what happens is that the stickers have worn off, but the sticky stuff that actually holds the stickers on is still there, the residue, so the dirt sticks to it, making it look like the locomotives had their lining in dirt. Yeah, it's awful. We had to wait a very long time for the next train, and while we were doing so, we watched someone get arrested because this is right next to the police station, but that's a story for a different time. Either way, when that train finally did show up, it was a westbound intermodal with a C6M duo. I could see from a distance that this was boring GE junk, so I decided to go for this interesting and, I would say, very creative shot through the tree that fell down at the depot recently. This was actually suggested by my mom, so credit to her for the shot idea. I think it turned out really good. And just as we were preparing to leave, an eastbound suddenly jump scared us. Norfolk Southern 266 with GE junk but orange in the form of BNSF engines. The leader was a somewhat nice H2-9, but I still don't like this shot because of course the sun came out and backlit the entire area just as the one decent train of the day shows up. And then, way later, because remember, I'm skipping over the glowworm trip in this video, because that was covered in the last one, we made a quick pit stop at the depot on August 21st to catch one train, eastbound Norfolk Southern 264, with another very dirty DC Gevo in the lead and a C6M as the mid-DPU. And with all those trips covered, that's all I have for you today. See you in the next video. Catch those units while you can, especially the French ones, and I'll see you in the next video.